All right, I'll call the meeting of the International Falls Economic Development Authority to order at about 6:10. First order of business, all members are present. Okay, approval of the minutes from the January 16th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Question?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Anybody in the audience have anything today? Oh, you know, you might have been saving it. You know. I know, you're still looking for your holder.
From two of us.
Yeah. It looks like he took it over. So yeah, it's on him. It's on him now.
Oh, man.
Okay, accounts payable, approve accounts payable as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll ask the question.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. The motion carries. Approve the 2023 unaudited financial reports as presented. I have a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Question?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries. Any reports? No reports, and I don't think we asked for any. Anybody? All right. Director, update on International Falls Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Do we have any updates on that from our last meeting, or that you want to add, Betty?
Well, I just
Just update us a little.
Yep, in your packet that the director, Kim Newtalk of the Falls HRA, has reached out and they're preparing to complete an application for some housing impact funding. And so, reaching out to us and, working together to move some of those things forward as they are taking steps to figure out what type of housing development they are going to be working on within our community, as we've requested and talked with them about. So.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. And we'll do whatever we can to assist them, I'm sure. Old business, wetland credit balance. Any update on that?
Don't know that it's really new information for the group. This was presented at Committee of the Whole, that Mr. Dan Donneray did the due diligence on researching, as requested of the City Council, all the tracking of our wetland credits, the credits that we purchased from the Megan's property over in Lake of the Woods County, and what we received from that and what we have used. And unfortunately, it does only leave us a wetlands bank of 6.66 acres. That did not change with his research. He was hoping it would have, but after he reviewed everything further, that was not the case. So that is what we have. So going forward, if things come up with the multimodal or with the Rainy Lake Medical Center property, those are the number of credits that we have to offer. So I'm not sure how beneficial that may or may not be, but that is what we have.
All right, thank you. Then the revolving loan fund policy. Sample document and information about current commercial loan program. Then you have?
I can help you with that.
Yeah, why don't you do that,
This
please?
is something that the mayor and I have been talking about for a while. I went out and found this, the city of Montgomery's EDA has this revolving loan. It's a policy which as an EDA, we've not had a policy in place outside of the commercial loan program to loan monies for. And so I thought this one, it covers everything. Putting it in front of you to review and look at and see if there are terms that you'd like to see differently, or if this is something we can have Chelsea look further into and, you know, put it in and implement it with any additional changes. Outside of the revolving loan, we do currently have in place our commercial loan program, which we have partnered with the local banks. Currently at True Star, we have 4 people that we're working on loans with, and at Border Bank, we have 3. So we do have, you know, 7 of them out there. I was contacted by Border Bank of Badette actually last week, and the new bakery coming into town, they're based out of Badette, so they would like to finance through the Badette Bank, but having their business, because they're gonna be remodeling in the kitchen and things in the local property that they purchased here in town. But the gentleman I was working with at Border Bank out of Badette was on vacation after he sent me some information, so I haven't touched base with him again to see what that may or may not look like. So possibly another commercial loan application to be in front of us before too long. And that is a loan of the commercial loan is a matching of the $24,999.99 with the supporting bank. So they are matching what we do, and it has to be, you know, a commercial loan. I have had some inquiry recently in regards to somebody wanting to rehab apartment building. And, you know, so we're looking at understanding if it is a commercial loan for that commercial business, does that qualify? So we're possibly looking at one for a commercial loan for a rental property, a significant rental property in our community as well. And again, that would be matching funds from the banks, and they administer all of it, and then we get a percentage back.
What, is this the same as like we have now, but just through a different,
Yeah.
the bank, or is this like us lending our own money?
This policy here would be lending our own money.
Okay, perfect.
And in this case, they do $10,000.
Yeah.
So this is different from the commercial.
But-
but
all right, I
both
got
kind of-
you.
You know, they talk
Yeah.
about both of them
Yeah.
on this policy, that we have both options.
Yeah.
But the small loan fund would be out of our EDA funds through us directly, not through the bank.
Not partnering with the bank.
Exactly,
The funds.
correct. And I think in this document, they indicated the terms, they don't exceed 10 years, and I think it's like $10,000. Different things
Yeah.
have different timeframes, of what they're doing, depends on what the project is, are different timeframes. But the maximum that they allow is $10,000 for a commercial, or, you know, commercial type loan.
So we don't have anything
No.
like this right now. I mean, we did
No.
something similar to this during COVID.
That was a stopgap.
Yep, that was,
Yep.
but it's similar to this during COVID, but we don't have something for someone coming in and just wants to, you know, try to invest into their building, business, and we are gonna be getting collateral in the event that they do this. So this would be a way of helping a smaller group that has some collateral to be able to do that.
That is correct, and that's what we've been talking about at this group, our policy and guidelines to be able to do something like that, and what does the value look like?
Yeah, I would think this is something we definitely will look closer at, be able to help some people for whatever reason, might have problems or not, don't need that much, or whatever, the size of the loan. Yeah. Anything else on this?
I would like to see this
Move.
moved
I was gonna say-
forward as
Yeah.
drafted as an International
Yeah.
Falls copy, very similar to this, and have it on our next
Yeah.
EDA meeting so that we can see finalized what it would
What
look
would
like
like.
for International Falls, but I don't see any
No,
issue with
no.
this.
Okay. And I can work with Chelsea on verifying
Yeah.
it, any guidelines that we, as the discussions you folks have had, if there's anything we may see that we need to add or highlight or something for final discussion on a document moving forward.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Roofing project on the VMP building. Ted Brokaw. No wonder you're saving yourself up earlier today.
Stop, he's always talking. Every meeting, he's gotta talk.
You want to get us started, Ted, or you want me to?
Well, 2 years ago, when we put together the water intrusion issue project at Voyageurs National Park, it was basically drain tile around the building. And we had one issue with one wall that was leaking on occasion in the kitchen area of Voyageurs National Park. That was part of the project that we're working very hard to finish. But last spring, we had other leaks that started to pop up. So I brought in some professionals to look at the building. At first, they were thinking that the roof in the admin building is what they call a hot deck. So it doesn't have batt insulation. It's spray foam that's tight right to the bottom of the deck, of the roof, in between the trusses. Well, if you get any penetrations through that, you have a chance for hot and cold to meet and it condensates. At first, that's what they were leaning towards. As the investigation went on, we have found that there are holes in the shingles all over the roof. When they built the building, at some point, they must have put some sort of guardrail up around the building. They put holes through the shingles, and then they patched them with tar. Well, the tar, over the years, has disappeared, and we have some serious damage that we need to look at reshingling and doing some repairs there. So I am here today with Tom Tessier from Kraus Anderson to get permission to put together a package on what it's going to cost to replace the roof at Voyageurs National Park. It's not an issue of whether we have the money to do it. We have the money. The roof should have lasted us 20, 25 years, and it's not going to. And we're starting to do damage to the building.
Is it getting into the offices too?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, on the west side, on the first floor of the open office area, I don't know if you're familiar with the
Oh, yeah.
giant musky mount. Right there, you can see where the water's leaking in, and like Ted was saying, it was due to those holes from a garlock or guardrail system around the perimeter. That area is bad. The break room upstairs, that little coffee bar upstairs, there's some ceiling tiles that has some leaking there. The first floor, kind of by where the kitchen is on the other side of that. Part of that may be from that kitchen issue, but part of it could be from some other penetrations as well. So there's several areas throughout the building that are of concern right now.
So would this be complete reshingling and just starting from the top down and just handling everything that's underneath?
And I think the one thing is, I would say the area over the kitchen is probably going to be an area that we may have to get more into more than just shingles. Is, the detail that we had in the last project was, we knew that it's got a unique design in the valley. And I remember when the building was built, that it looked really easy on paper. To tie the two roofs together on site wasn't, and it was a struggle. And we've had little leaks there off and on, for the last 12, 13 years. But as we dug deeper into it, it's not just the wall. And we don't know what kind of damage has been done to the decking, maybe even some of the support structure. But we need to do something with it. It's just, it's way too soon.
So just out of curiosity, if this is something that's happening and we're getting leaking, is this something that we can look at through insurance? I mean, I know we have money, but for, okay, so, okay, I was just wondering how,
We
what,
definitely can. It's just, I wanted to bring it in front of you because, the project that we have going now has went way too long, and, it's the newest building we have in the fleet, and it seems I've spent the most time there in the last 3 years that, it's, the fortunate thing is that, with the administrator's direction, we're sitting in a position financially that, we do have, and that's the beauty of a GSA lease. They make you put money away for these issues, so that you can fix them when you have, when you need to, and that's, but it's just money I didn't think we were gonna have to spend at this point.
What year is it now?
2024.
The building was built in 2011.
Oh, so that's
Yep. Started in 2009,
I'm used to
10.
that. It's not my first rodeo.
Well, you give
They
it
took
back
over-
just as well as I give it.
Yeah, I can
Over
give it back.
occupancy in 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
Are you doing anything right now to, are you putting more mastic on there to stop the
you
flow? or
would see
what?
that one valley, we just dumped tar right down the roof. And
Okay.
it still leaks a little bit. I mean, basically, I directed KA staff that I said, I don't care what it looks like,
Yeah,
just do what you can, and,
Gotta stop.
and we're, and GSA's involved now, so, we need to be reactive to our tenants. So,
Perfect.
So, I'll ask for a motion then to go ahead.
I'll make that motion to
With
go
the-
ahead and get it repaired.
Go out for bids.
Go out for bid.
right,
Work
we
on
won't,
that.
the only thing I'll ask is that I want to be able to get this done this summer, so I may ask that we, if we can, to call a special meeting to be able,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If you're okay with that.
sure.
yeah,
special meetings for the other.
Gotta get going.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. If you're looking like the beginning of the May, it would be perfect for a special meeting. No. All right, so I have a motion to go ahead with the roof repairs.
Yeah, bid.
I have a second.
You want roof repairs or new
Well, to
roof?
get
I would say put together a bid
a
package.
bid
Bid
package
Or a new roof?
for a new roof.
With that, I would like to say that we don't know if it's going to be a bid package or a quoted project, right? We don't know what the value is going to be. So if we can get it figured that it's less than 175,000, then, we can quote it rather than bid it, which, the process, but.
How about a
Either.
cost estimate, either cost estimate or?
Yep.
How about that? Cost estimate for the repair, replacement of the roof, if it's that bad?
So move.
Are you good with that?
Yep,
Mike?
I'm good with it.
And we got a second?
Yep.
Okay, got,
Jim Wagner, second.
Harlan. Any more discussion? All right, I'll ask the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries. Any other business?
No way.
No way.
Do you
You
know,
had an hour.
do you realize that the only time he comes is when he has bad news, and now you're part
Well,
of it?
I knew that, yeah.
Now you're
Well,
part of
thank
it.
you. Well, thanks for stealing my thunder. It's like, oh, more
Oh,
good.
we all see it.
Yeah, more good news. Is this good news?
I don't know, you'll have to tell.
Yeah. No.
You guys don't like it when I come up here. It's kind of the same way, right? I really could care less. Maybe I'll send Mike up here. Anyway, at the direction of the city administrator last summer, I was directed to go to the League of Minnesota Cities Conference in Duluth.
Yes.
One of the things that I picked up at that conference was funding for infrastructure for housing. And of all of the stuff that I got out of that conference, that was the hardest stuff for me to find information on. And wouldn't you know it, it's got to be a new program that's just started. And I sat in on a meeting today. It's for single-family housing. It is for multifamily housing, but it's to get financial help to put the streets, the water and sewer for areas where we don't have the infrastructure.
Yes.
So what I wanted to, it's just starting out. I sat in a meeting for an hour today that was kind of a They broke us out into groups, and it's so new that they're kind of trying to pick everybody's brain to see what they want out of the program. Now, the program doesn't look like it'll be 100%, right? It's got to be a 50-50 match. The maximums they're putting it on, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to look at parts of International Falls. You know, one of the things is in 2016, when I first got involved, we had talked about our plating ordinance. In our plating ordinance, to plat and develop an area of International Falls, a developer is required to plat it, put the utilities in the roads up to the city specs, and then turn it over to the city. And there's a financial burden there that we can't get developers to do it. So this program is something where the city can get involved to try and help with that. And I just want to make sure that before I go down this road, that this board is okay with me doing that. It's probably going to involve involving the planner again. One area that we're looking at is kind of up in South Falls. It's already platted, but there's some private-owned areas in town that aren't platted. And I think, you know, it's not something that, you know, we carry on our own, but we can get help out there now to try and offset some of that cost, to get developers to do single-family homes, you know, multifamily homes. I know with the Housing Authority looking at applying, right? Depending on where they put them, you know, multifamily, you know, to get that infrastructure there, you know, they're probably going to need help as well. And I think to bring them both together with some of the financial help they can get with some of the opportunities they have that we don't have, but I think it's a good program and it's just starting out, and I think it's something that, you know, we could work out well for us and give us some opportunities to try and expand, you know, not annexing. What I'm saying is getting it out into areas where there are.
You're not saying it, I'm thinking it. I got a picture in my head right now of where
So,
this
but-
would work. Yeah,
I'm talking in the boundaries.
yeah, right, that, where you
So
got
are
no
we.
control over
So
my
are we.
angles.
We're talking in the boundaries too.
Yeah,
Maybe not right now, but.
yeah. Yes,
I would just like to say thank you to the city administrator for listening to the mayor to have him go to the League of Minnesota Cities Conference for this very reason. So, thank you, Betty.
and I remembered hearing that from him down there, so that's pretty
I
good.
can't believe the mayor made me go down here. He's in cahoots with the city administrator. I don't know why I'm here today.
Just for the record,
But we
I called her
bonded.
at 7 o'clock the first night I got down there and said, "Where are you at?" She goes, "I'm not coming down there."
You're stuck
Think
with
that I
Pete.
didn't get an earful.
And believe it or not, I haven't forgot that yet, but it was a good, and one thing is that I've really been working a lot with the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities, and I really strongly urge you to try and go to their events. I sat through their halftime legislative informational meeting today. They've, you know, some good things. They're very, very helpful, and, you know, they're quite aware of where we're at, and they're willing to help us in any way they can. So I think it's a good call on your part to get us back in that organization.
Guess who could be made to go to another conference this summer?
Eddie?
Betty's turn, right? It's Betty's turn.
Yes, it is.
Actually, I would lean towards Mike Wallace.
I would lean towards them.
I don't see him anywhere.
Well, I've had enough, Ted.
But I said
You've had enough trips.
Duluth was running into
Oh,
that same
Had
problem,
enough
right?
of Ted.
As far as,
They have some contractors that want to build, whatever, a neighborhood, and they won't do it because they got to put the roads and the water and all, it costs too much money.
and we've talked, like I say, we've talked about it since 2016, that somehow we've got to try and figure out financially how to put a little skin in the game. Because
Yeah.
to get, you know, and I'm not talking 10, I'm talking one block, right?
Right.
If we can do one block here, one block there, you know, build it and they'll come, right? And we need to, you know, another thing is with the LRIP grant that we got for 9th Street, okay? I think there might be some opportunity for some tax forfeited property on 9th Street that if we redid the infrastructure and the road, you know, is there a way for us to look at some of those properties to be able to offset some of the cost to offer that up for single-family housing? That's all I got. So you still want me to keep going with it then?
Yes.
Yes, I think you should.
And maybe we can work on our ordinance about them, who has to pay how much and what, also for incentives down the road. I mean, if we can get in this program, you know, maybe that's something to talk down the road, I guess, and maybe not. I know what no means.
Well, no, the one thing is I brought up, you know, when initially I was working with the planning group, you know, I brought up the planning ordinance, right? And by the sounds of it, that's a pretty standard, you know, some of our ordinances are
Yeah.
quite old and outdated. It's kind of seems to be kind of a standard around the state that, you know, the developer puts the infrastructure in and turns it over. And so I think we need to look at programs like this.
Or that we can at least get help for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess it would be different if we weren't competing with towns if we were competing with towns right next door though, to maybe change it. But I got this nice little, I got a place platted out right in my head right now. Well, don't worry, Ted, it won't have been your idea.
Okay.
How about that? Another one out there. You set the seat. Anything else on this or anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.
See how they beat up on it?